Okay, so I think we should be live. I haven't gone live in a bit, y'all, so bear with me while I try to make sure everything is going good and just not lagging or anything, right? Like, that's all we want is to not have a lag. So let's just make sure that everything is good right now. I think the last time we went live a lot was during the Nope era, where we were just talking about Nope. Okay, so I think we should be good to go. So I'm just going to be live for like 30, 45 minutes, depending on how many people get on here. This should be a video that's just going to go up on its own as well. So it's going to be just talking about spoilers for Barbarian, which is amazing, honestly. This is one of the best horror films we've gotten all year, and I'm excited to talk about it. The last time we would go live with the Nopes and stuff, it was we could go and talk about other horror movies and stuff like that. So we'll do it the same way here. Nothing too formal or anything like that. Like we could talk about other horror movies or anything we're anticipating. But I just want to talk about Barbarian, so I'm gonna give it a little bit more time here to get ready. But in the meantime, we did just have D23, and there's a lot of stuff there, and I'm gonna be discussing it all tomorrow for sure. But I'm just excited for Barbarian just kicking off this like spooky season because I think it kicked it off well. We do have Pearl coming out next week as well as Goodnight Mommy and just a ton of other horror movies that are going to start coming out. But Barbarian definitely has like surprised me the most because this was a movie I really had no clue or intention about until I started to hear more about it as it was coming out, and I started to see the trailers and everything about it, and I was just like, this looks interesting now. It has my attention. I saw Bill Skarsgård was in this, and I was just wondering what could the whole thing about this movie be, and so I actually got to go see it earlier this week, and I was blown away. So I'm just gonna share the link for this, so we could definitely share it on Twitter. Um, so we're just going to share this, but we're just here to talk about Barbarian or any other horror movie you want to talk about as well. I am going to briefly go over my thoughts on the movie. There will be spoilers, as you can see, and there is definitely going to be a lot to be discussed for this one. I already did a review and then explained and all of that. So I'm doing this live, so if you're watching this after, I'm just waiting right now for some people if they join. If they don't, like I said, it's fine. I just do want to get my thoughts out on it. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I shared it now, so we should be able good to go. So overall, like I said, this was a movie that when I watched it and when I first heard about it, I was okay. I'm all over the place. So when I first heard about this movie, I had no clue what was going on here. I was like, this looks good, but I didn't know what was going on here. And so, like I said, spoilers ahead, spoilers on the title and everything. But this movie really had me thinking many times what was going to happen, and then by the end of it, that wasn't the case of what was happening here. And Bill Skarsgård, from the trailer alone, just looks like he's the one who might be up to something, right? Like, I was just like, he's going to have something hidden in this house, or he did something, and that's what I was thinking when I first watched the movie and I first started. And so we have this character of Tess who comes to this Airbnb, and it's been booked apparently by Bill Skarsgård as well because there has been some complication of sorts. And in my head, I was like, right, complications. I thought he had something to do with this whole thing, and that he was gonna be some like weird person that was gonna start doing some creepy stuff, and something was up with him, right? That's what I thought. And so Tess thinks the same thing, but over time he sort of starts to charm her, and she's pretty much like, I think I can trust this guy, right? And I'm just like, I don't know if we can trust Bill Skarsgård just yet. Now, we do see that she is staying in a rougher neighborhood after she is out, and things just start turning from there because we find out that Bill Skarsgård didn't actually have anything to do with this as he finds what's down there in that basement. And what was down there in that basement completely threw me off because what was down there was this like mutant mother of sorts that was gonna keep you down there for however long they wanted to. And I was just like, what is this movie, right? Because it was something new, it was unpredictable, and I was just there like, what is this? Because it was just great. So I talked about this in my review. This is done by an alumni of The Whitest Kids You Know, which was a sketch comedy show. I used to watch it on Fuse. I don't know if it premiered on other stuff, but it was really good. And this is amazing that we have somebody that's coming from comedy as well, sketch comedy, just as we had Jordan Peele as well, going into the horror genre. And I think for a first feature of sorts, this is a really good job, honestly. So, like I said, the mutant mother, I'm going to make a whole video just about that whole topic because some people do want me to discuss that more, I've seen. So that will definitely be a video on its own that will probably come out this weekend, or by the time you're watching this, it should be out, so go look for that. But the mutant mother was just insane, honestly. I did not see that coming at all, especially from the trailer, the posters, and all of that. And so the backstory of it is that this was sort of a creature formed out of incest. And we find out that there was this character in the movie called Frank, who was very much so out there doing these like murderous deeds and all of that. And this was back in like the Reagan administration. That's what we hear on the radio. So probably around the 80s or so. And this person is just like continuing to do these really, really bad things. And eventually, like the homeless man tells them, Tess and also AJ, who is played by Justin Long. By the way, Justin Long in this, it was great to see him. I think Justin Long is a horror person, honestly. I saw this like tweet that said that he's like a scream queen now because of all of the horror movies he's been in, and I definitely see that. And I'm excited to see him in more stuff. I think he's a good actor, and I do want to see him play some other roles for sure, but I think he was great in this as well. So the homeless man tells Tess and AJ, who is played by Justin Long, as I said, about how this man committed these acts, and all of these acts were definitely ones also that led into all of these offsprings of him coming through, and just some horrible stuff in that basement of the man who originally owned the home. And so I thought that that was a interesting story there for sure, for the mutant mother and how she came to be as well. And it was definitely very much so like it's something that sticks when you think about how horrible it was. And although we don't see the tapes that the old man who is this murderous person had, I think the fact that you hear a glimpse of it and you see AJ's face makes it that much more terrifying when you really think about it, because it is something that is so disturbing to even think about. And I enjoyed how this movie sort of layered things and like hid things from you and didn't really show you other things that were down there as well, because it sort of like leaves it up to your imagination about how bad it really was down there. And I think that the movie did that very well. So I almost dropped my cup right there. I think that the movie really did a good job with that right there. So this is definitely a horror movie that I think pushes the envelope for horror a little bit more. It really gives us this vibe of a horror movie that's just trying to sort of be there to disturb you, and this disturbs you very well. From the scenes with Miss Tess right here, as well as Bill Skarsgård, who plays a character named Keith. That whole scene down there in the basement and everything, the twists, the turns, and all of that, and you just anticipating whether he is the bad guy or he's not the bad guy, was just done so well. Like, I honestly really give them kudos for that, because I think that they really gave us something special with this one, where everything about it just felt like, what is going on here, right? Like, so much things to be like you're just there anticipating, right? I think Bill Skarsgård is such a great actor, honestly, as well, playing the role of Keith, because at the same time he seemed menacing at the beginning as well, and then you don't know whether to trust him or not, and everything that just happens with his interactions with Tess, you're just there trying to wonder, is this guy really the bad guy, or am I being sort of like, you know, like you're just wondering, what exactly should I be thinking? So I think he played that character very well in that sense, where you're just there anticipating every move he does next. AJ, of course, played by Justin Long, is a character that you just like from the beginning, you know this guy is just bad. And the more you get to know him, the badder of a person he is. You're just there like, come on, Tess. Because at a point, Tess is able to escape from all of this, but decides to go back from AJ, and you're just like, that man does not need no saving, especially after what he's done. And Tess still goes back for him, and we get this whole thing with Tess and the mother, where the mother comes bursting through the door out of the house once Tess is free, and that was one of the freakiest shots in the whole movie, honestly. I think the way that they did the shape and the whole like look and the way the mother moved and everything was great. It definitely had me on the edge of my seat, especially wondering when they were gonna come out next. Another burst scene that she had that was insane was when they were with the homeless man in his home, and they pretty much burst through the mother, and you're just there like, this thing is such an insane creature design for sure. And I think the actor who played this, I'm not sure. I will definitely be talking about that once I do talk about the mother video and all of that, which should be coming out tomorrow if you want to check that out. And like I said, I think that the scenes when Tess is going back for AJ and you see the mother bust through the door was one of the most horrific scenes. Everybody in my theater jumped, screamed, and like I said in my ending explained, this was such a theater experience with a full crowd. Everybody was just like screaming, people were laughing, and I think that that's something about the movie as well that I really enjoyed, was that there were moments where you were really scared but you were also laughing because of what was going on, but at the same time you were nervous. So it was a lot of emotions running through you at the same time, and I thought that that was a great way to really make this film feel that much more like insane. It really had you thinking, what is going on, what is going to happen next, and you're just there loving every moment of it. So very much so a an amazing job, honestly. So the whole ending as well just left me wondering, damn, I really felt bad for this like mutant mother, everything that's happened to her and where she is now. And I think that's something that was done very well by the director, and the scenes, how they were like sort of like shot as well, that makes you think like, I'm really sad about this like monster thing, because what just happened to it, right? So overall, like I said from the beginning, this is a movie to go see. It is definitely feeling refreshing to see this type of horror, especially after years of getting more of the elevated horror, which by the way I still enjoy as well. But sometimes you want some of this horror that's just like a good fun time, and that's exactly what Barbarian is, because it's a movie that keeps you on your toes. It has you laughing, it has you scared and wondering what comes next, and also a refreshing like monster as well. That's definitely something that I was excited for once I saw this film, and I'm excited to see what comes next from this director, Zach Cregger, who has done an amazing job. So I'm excited for the future of this, and I do want to talk more about this movie, so I will have a couple more videos out this week for sure, right before we get into the Pearl Talk and Goodnight Mommy, which are two horror movies that are coming out next week, which I am excited about and will be talking about as well. So stay tuned for my Pearl video before it comes out that I will do on Monday, and I'll also do a video on Goodnight Mommy. So stay tuned for those videos, because we got a lot of horror stuff to talk about. I have like a whole notebook of ideas I'm talking about this week and the next week, and just a ton of stuff, especially for October. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But yeah, Barbarian is definitely the movie to see this weekend. Like, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Even with like, don't even watch the trailer or anything like that. I mean, if you've already heard these spoilers, it's still like insane to see this like scenes play out. So definitely a good movie to check out for sure. But tomorrow I will be having the video on Barbarian for the mother, so stay tuned for that one. And then Monday I'll have a Barbarian um, hot like special video for sure, and a Pearl video and a Goodnight Mommy video. All three should come out Monday. I think I'm gonna be able to watch Pearl on Wednesday, so I'll have a video out for y'all probably Thursday morning or Wednesday night, depending on what time I get out of that screening. And then Goodnight Mommy, I do want to watch that early, but I don't know if I'll be able to watch that because I think it's the same day as Pearl. But I'll still watch it. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. Goodnight Mommy video should be out for sure by Thursday. And also, I will do a video on the original Goodnight Mommy, because yes, this Goodnight Mommy is a remake of the Australian movie. That video will come out on Monday. So we'll definitely have a ton of, like, I feel like next week we're going to have like, usually I like to do like 5 to 7 videos. I think next week we're gonna have close to 10 videos, because there's a ton of horror stuff and all of that. There's like this new movie too I heard about on Paramount that I'm still gonna look into if I'm gonna watch it or not. It was like a smart house that's sort of like a killer at the same time. I definitely do want to look into that movie and see how it is. And I think there was a movie that was going to come out on Peacock or Epix, I don't remember. But there's a lot of horror stuff, and Barbarian for sure is the like head honcho this week on horror movies to watch, because I think it is just that special. So I'm definitely excited to see what's going to come next from the director Zach Cregger, who I think did an amazing job with this one. I think Barbarian was such an interesting and new topic that just feels fresh, and the monsters and everything, the scares, they don't feel cheap or anything like that. Like, there was always something to be scared about, and that was something that I really enjoyed that the film did very well. So, like I said, I'm excited to see the future for this, and what a fun month for movies, because we have Pearl next week and Goodnight Mommy, and we just had Barbarian. Horror is really having a year with 2022, and I'm excited to talk more about that pretty soon. But let me know what y'all thought about Barbarian, if you watched it or not, if you enjoyed it, what was your favorite part of it all. Like I said, I think my favorite part was the design of the creature itself. I think it was something very new, very much so in your face. And the movie, I like that it didn't like try to sort of be this movie where it sort of like tries to like dumb things down like some movies do, like the whole thing with going back to the past and then going back to the present. Like, I it's fine if you have to give a date or something that's important for the audience, but I like the subtlety of the past scenes where they don't really give you a date, but they let you know that it's probably something in the 80s because of them talking about the Reagan administration and all of that. And I thought that was just a pretty cool little thing that the director did there, but that's just my opinion. So I don't know. This movie is good, and I definitely do recommend it. So I will be talking more about Barbarian tomorrow in the video, so stay tuned for that video. And we do have a lot of other horror movie videos we're going to be talking about. We do have our podcast episode dropping tomorrow. That's going to be our fourth one. I fixed the audio from last time because the third episode was bad. But it's gets better this time, so stay tuned for that one. They should be dropping in the morning, so I'm gonna just have them scheduled for the morning. We talk about a lot of the upcoming horror movies, and also I believe we talked a little bit more about some of Pearl. We will be discussing Pearl more next week as well, and we will have the ending explain video for Pearl on Thursday, and as well as a review for it. I'm gonna try and check it out on Wednesday. But yeah, I'm excited. Any other horror movies that y'all are excited for this month or next month, let me know. I'm very curious to see, because there's a lot of stuff, and this year has been good so far. So I think it's going to be another good month for horror as well. So very excited. I know Netflix released some of their releases for sure that they're going to have for spooky season, and also Shudder has a very good series right now with the 101 scariest moments, and I do want to talk about those before the next episode. It's going to be every Wednesday, so maybe on Sunday we can talk about those. But horror wise, we're going to have a ton of stuff, so make sure you're tuned in for that. But yeah, I'm excited for it for sure. Yeah, spooky season is upon us, and there's a ton of stuff here for sure to talk about. Pearl is my next anticipated movie. I thought Barbarian started off really well. We also got the Hocus Pocus 2 trailer today at D23, and I'm excited about that as well. Goodnight Mommy next week. I don't know if we really want to count Don't Worry Darling as a horror, but it's kind of like a thriller-ish. That comes out 2 weeks later. And then, of course, we have Halloween Ends and so much more coming that we're definitely going to be discussing all of that on the channel. So, very excited for all of this for sure. Like I said, Barbarian, the mother video coming out tomorrow, where we discuss more of that creature and all of that in detail as well. I know some people just wanted me to talk about that in the ending explained, but I wanted to get through the whole story and just give you my thoughts and opinions throughout the whole movie as well. So tomorrow it's just purely talking about the ending and the creature. So that video should be up tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited. I cannot wait to get into all of these videos as well. We got a lot of things coming, some shorts as well we're working on for spooky season, and some watch parties I want to do as well. Something I'm trying to still find out a way to really get this done well. So it's going to be a good time these next 2 months for sure, as we get into spooky season and we start growing the channel more. And we're just trying, our next goal once we hit 25K, which I hope we can hit by the time Halloween comes, is going to be 100K, and then we're just going to keep growing and growing the channel. So super excited for that. So appreciate everybody who has subscribed or who watches the channel and the videos, comments, all of that. Next 2 months are full spooky season, but after that, of course, we're going to continue with some more original content, some more like shorts and other fun experiences we're going to have for the channel going into the end of the year, next year, and years to come. So excited for everybody to join us. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. But as always, that's going to do it for me today. This will just be uploaded as a full video of me just talking spoilers and all of that. And I will be going live pretty soon again to announce some stuff. So appreciate y'all. And as always, stay safe, stay positive.